Today we review The Bad Batch Episode 1, and what an episode it was. Yesterday, during my episode preview video, I suggested that the trailer gave away way too much for Episode 1, but that hopefully with a 70-minute episode there'd be some surprises in there for us. And certainly there was, with the inclusion of Caleb Dume, voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr., the young Padawan of Depa Billaba is able to escape Order 66, and later becomes a key part of the rebellion as Kanan Jarrus, as we see in the series Star Wars Rebels. But as always, Dave Filoni doesn't just include characters that he loves just for the sake of it. Caleb has a very important role specifically for the character Hunter. You see, the fact that Hunter fails in assisting Caleb Dume, well, that certainly sets him up to have more empathy for Omega, a young character that we meet later in the episode, and really sets up why he is so interested in Omega and willing to help her. But moving on with the story here, we see a clear message coming from the story during Order 66 or in the aftermath of Order 66, and that is just how important it is to think for yourself, as it's revealed that the Clone Wars are over and the Galactic Empire is taking over from the Republic. It's very clear to see that the regular clones are brainwashed and are simply sheep that are following orders. And this is exactly what Tarkin doesn't like about the Clone Force 99. They are independent thinkers, and as he suspects, aren't going to fit in with the Imperial Army. So he runs them through some simple tests at first, and then a more advanced training test, including live fire and what looks like the predecessor of the Dark Troopers we get to see in The Mandalorian. And I really love how during this test Crosshair is shown to be one of the key members of the Bad Batch, perhaps even the most powerful. Dave Filoni and his team of writers do a great job setting Crosshair up for what happens later. But that said, after the test on Kamino, Tarkin sends the Bad Batch on a mission to Alderaan, where the Bad Batch discover that the insurgents that they are sent to destroy include children and elderly people. Again, this theme of thinking for yourself emerges, but this time, instead of the regular clones being the ones that want to follow orders, we see very clearly that Crosshair's inhibitor chip seems to be working much better than any of the other Bad Batch clones. And we see a clear rift between Hunter and Crosshair begin to form. And this rift becomes even deeper as Hunter meets with Saw Gerrera and shows empathy and understanding for Saw's cause. Gerrera in return has an important message for the Bad Batch, and that is they need to adapt to how the galaxy is changing or be destroyed. So after their meeting with Saw Gerrera and the insurgents, despite the fact that Omega warned them not to return to Kamino, that's exactly what the Bad Batch do. They are promptly captured and thrown into the brig with Omega, which was apparently exactly what they wanted. Now, of course, the Bad Batch are able to escape, but not before Crosshair is taken away from them, and we've seen the Kaminoans and Tarkin increase the power of his inhibitor chip. So now he's going to be even more willing to follow orders and be even more loyal to the Empire. And we see this come into play as the Bad Batch are trying to escape Kamino. Crosshair and some of the regular clones confront them. Why Tarkin didn't send more clones with Crosshair is a mystery to me, but overall I really thought this face-off between Crosshair and his former team, the Bad Batch, worked really well. We as the audience and the Bad Batch themselves, even including Omega, well, we all have empathy for Crosshair. We know that it's the inhibitor chip that's really making him follow those orders. And because we have this empathy for Crosshair, it makes him a great villain. We don't just want the Bad Batch to eliminate him, we want them to find a way to free Crosshair from the Empire and from that inhibitor chip. Ultimately, it's Omega that disarms Crosshair, and the Bad Batch, now including Omega, are able to escape. They give us a hint about the next episode, as they're off to see one of the few friends that they have in the galaxy. But hey, Star Wars fans, let me know what you think about the episode in the comments below. As well, give me some of your predictions for episode 2, and I hope to publish those in a community video coming up soon. That said, I'm Mike, thanks for watching, and may the 4th be with you.